28-18 is the final. Michigan gets it done today, Sam, against Arkansas State. It wasn't a pretty win. We were talking about that pregame about what we wanted to see today, but we did see a few positive things. I think we got to start there. The positives. They did get in the end zone. They got some explosive plays out of the run game, 301 yards rushing. Khalil Mauling's with a career day, over 150 yards rushing, 3 rushes of over 30 yards. And then you had Donovan got some good carries in. He had some hard-nosed runs, about 70-plus yards. So you got to like what you saw there with the run game.
Yeah, they accomplished what I think they wanted to as far as getting the good taste in their mouths on the ground against a team that they should be able to do. They did what you're supposed to do to Arkansas State in that regard. You should be able to plow some holes open. You wanted to see your running backs be able to find daylight routinely. They did that. You wanted to see your running backs be able to get yards after contact routinely. They did that. Both running backs did. They're staple plays. And so I said I thought that they were really going to kind of refine their run menu. I felt like they did that. Duos and counters really hit hard today. And like I said, both guys did a good job of finding, I think split zone hit a couple of times. Both guys did a good job of finding the holes, of pressing the right holes, of finding the right cutback lane. And then when they were one-on-one with a guy, either making a miss or running through contact. Very rarely did they go down on first contact or were they brought down by the first guy. Both Khalil and Donovan did a really good job in that regard. So it was positive in that instance. I don't think you get too carried away and say, okay, they've arrived. You just wanted to see them do what they're supposed to do. It remains to be seen what that means against USC. But for today, you did what you were supposed to do against Arkansas State, and that is a step.
Yeah, so like we talked about pregame, confidence. I think the run game definitely got a little bit of that confidence. So you wanted to see that from your two stud running backs. They did that today. Now we got to go to the bad. Obviously, turnovers has been an issue this year, specifically interceptions. 3 more today by Davis Warren. That's just not winning football, Sam. Obviously, you can get away with it against a less superior opponent, an inferior opponent, Arkansas State. But next week's USC. Saw the 3 interceptions. We can argue which ones were his fault, but still 3 turnovers is 3 turnovers. Yeah. And then of course Alex Orji came in the game to replace him those last 3 series. So let's get your thoughts there.
Yeah, man. I think there's a broader talking point here that I've been hitting on for the first few weeks of the season. That I think that this team is limited in what they can be offensively by personnel. That I think that their ceiling is higher when it comes to what they can be as a running team than it is compared to what they can be as a passing team.
Agreed.
I think that the personnel is more suited to being a heavier running team than a balanced run pass team. I don't think that this team is geared to being now that might not be conducive to being what they want to be ultimately. Sorry for the wind. We can't do nothing about it. This is swirling down here. So I don't want to see that in the comments. I have low tolerance for the BS, right? I have low tolerance for the BS today. They aspire to be balanced. I don't think balanced is something that is, I think it's aspirational. I don't think it's something that they can achieve this year. I just don't think they have that. So I think they were hit with that reality today. Again, it's one thing to not be able to move the football against Texas, but when you can't do it against Arkansas State, I think it kind of shows you that you need to do something different. Yeah. And, I don't want to make this be, as I didn't want to the last couple of weeks, I don't want to make it be a pile on Davis Warren fest. I've tried to make this be a fair thing and fair to the fans who watch our analysis and fair to the players. I try to tell the guys that, hey, when we talk about you, this is to the players that watch this. When we talk about you, we talk about the successes and the mistakes. equally.
Right.
I can't sit here and talk about your touchdowns and not talk about your interceptions. We got to talk about them both.
Right.
So if I say you threw 3 interceptions, that's not me downing you.
It's facts.
That's me talking about you threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Period. Right. And so as I look at the interceptions in this game, I think that the first couple of you said we can sort of debate who the interceptions were all, right? And I think, for instance, that first interception, that was Donovan said that was on him.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how. It was a power pass.
Right.
The safety was cheating 3 yards off the hash. He is telling you it's going to be a corner blitz. You can't get the corner. you can't get the corner. Now Donovan was saying that he was either lined up the wrong. If he was lined up on the wrong side, I'm confused. I'm confused if he was lined up on the wrong side. Either way, he's not getting the corner. He's not getting the corner. He's getting the wheel.
Yeah.
If Donovan goes for the corner, the wheel has a straight shot at Davis. So he's in no man's land. He tries to go for the wheel, but he initially hesitates because it's like, okay, well, he turns this way to hand the ball. And it's like, oh, where was the handoff supposed to go? Then he tries to go for the wheel, but then he sees the corner coming. He tries to go out and get the corner, which is not his man.
Right.
And then all hell breaks loose. And I think Davis must have thought that the tight end was open, but the tight end wasn't open. And he throws it up. So what we can only go with what do we think is supposed to happen on the play? You can check it because maybe they don't give him audibles. Maybe they don't give him audibles. And why do I say that? Because Donovan can't get 2 guys on this play.
Right.
There are 2 guys coming on this play. He cannot get both. So you can say it's Donovan's fault. One of those guys is going to be free, and it's probably going to be the corner. And the corner in this situation is the quarterback's man, and he has to account for that guy. So it's either a throwaway or you're checking the play. And if you're not checking the play, you're throwing it away. He didn't throw it away.
And that seems to be some of the consistency we're seeing from Davis, unfortunately. Some plays where you think maybe he should throw it away, he doesn't.
And so listen, so I'm not offering that as a criticism. Okay? This is my point. It's that when we talk about where this team is as a passing offense, you can do that when it's JJ McCarthy.
Absolutely.
You're asking him to be JJ.
He's not.
And is it fair to ask him to be JJ?
No, and they're not. I mean, listen, JJ was a top 10 draft pick. I mean, it is what it is. They are not on the same level. They got to.
And so second interception. I mean, I don't know. They said that his arm.
He got hit. His arm did.
They said his arm was hit, but I still don't. As you look at it, I
don't know where he was throwing.
I don't know where it was going with the football.
I agree. So
I don't know where it was going with the football.
And then the third one, you defended it on X, calling it, saying that the receiver fouled.
Now that's what I said. Now I got
Sharon said that was on him.
Let me talk about that. Let me talk about that one. So I see the receiver fall down on the play. And I say, well, I'm not going to put that all on the quarterback. You got Michigan fans say, oh, that's all his fault.
Receiver did fall, but
that's the irony.
I think
that's the irony. You got players saying you're attacking me. You're attacking me. And then you got fans saying, oh, you're giving them a pass. It's neither. This is what I see.
Right.
I saw a receiver fall down on the play, and I think I give the receiver some of the blame. Now, he fell down. It wasn't the timing play. You got to see that, and maybe that's a throwaway too. The overarching point, though, is as a passing offense, they had 3 turnovers against Arkansas State.
Against
Arkansas State. And this gets back to what I've been saying. I think that you'll see more. If this is what they lean into offensively, I think this is what they're going to be. I think if you lean more into, listen, we gotta be a predominant run team.
Yep.
A distorted run team, then we are not going to be balanced. Going to drive people nuts. Not going to like the way it looks. But what it's going to do is it's going to lead to gross reactions in the pass game. Gross reactions to the run. Like you saw on how often in the first 2 3/4 games had you seen wide receivers run wide open down the football field? And the first full series where you saw, I guess it was after he scored a touchdown, but Alex Orji gets in the game, and on first down, they're thinking he's gonna run the football. He drops back, and you see Fred Moore running wide open down the football field.
Right.
And you got to hit it for it to make a difference, right? But the point is, you see what I'm talking about?
He makes that impact. They're going to put
you see what I'm talking about?
The line of scrimmage. They're going to get shots.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yes. I'm rolling. Listen, my choice. I'm rolling with Orji. I think Jerome was posed that question. Said the number one thing for a quarterback is to take care of the football. So that's the problem, and that's what they're going to address in practice. And I think if you're Michigan next week, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to be under center?
I think it's going to be Alex Orji. I think you got to see what that is. It's not just this past game. You've seen what the passing offense is now for 3 games.
They are.
You've seen, I think, what the ceiling is, what the problem is. See, one of the biggest problems with the passing game, with Davis in the game, it's that they don't respect the run game enough with Davis in the game to load the box. They don't respect the run game enough with Davis in the game for play action to suck guys up. You aren't getting guys running wide open down the football field on a routine basis. You just aren't getting those kind of reactions. So it leaves him having to throw into these windows all the time. And you're getting all these zone looks all over the place. He's not getting, again, in fairness to Davis, he's not getting wide open guys all over the place.
Right.
He's just not. He is getting some. He is getting some open guys.
You want to take your chances, like people were attacking Alex for the missed deep ball, but I'm like, if you're going to get that many opportunities like that, I guarantee he's going to hit one.
Well,
I guarantee it.
I'm not offering any guarantees. So let's be clear here. I'm not sitting here telling people it's going to work. I'm not making anybody.
What I'm saying is that I think if you give him enough opportunities down the field, I think he's going to hit one.
Let me be crystal clear.
He's 2 for 4 passing. There's not enough.
Let me be crystal clear. I'm not telling you that Alex is going to get in the game and it's going to be a panacea and that all the offensive problems are going to be solved by virtue of Alex Orji being inserted into the game. I don't know. What I'm telling you is what they were doing wasn't working, and I don't think it was gonna work. So you got to try something different. And to me, this was always going to give them the best shot because I think it expands the range of your run game. First, assuming that you get your offensive line somewhat better. They looked better. It was Arkansas State. There are less assignment errors. We got to see if they can do that against a good team. So again, not to get too carried away with what today meant. It was just good to see them not make mistakes against another color. Now we got to see them not make mistakes against another good color, right? That'll be the next step. Now, assuming that they can have a decent performance against a good team as a line, to have a threat, a run threat at the quarterback position that you can do a variety of things with, that you can read with. Like, I'll go back to last week. People keep talking about those, but man, you got the looks that you want against Texas. You got some great looks with Alex in the game. You got a great look on the QB power that was blown by an assignment error. Where if your guard pulls correctly, Alex is up in the hole behind a guard for at least the first down, but probably more. There was a power read later in the game where he reads it correct. Alex reads it correctly, he gives the ball to Khalil. And unlike today where he was, I mean, first guy was not bringing either running back down today. They were running through, they were making moves, they were running through first contact, but against Texas, power read, gives it to Khalil. Khalil gets on the flank, and the safety comes from 12 yards deep. He comes from depth and tackles him in the open field for a 2-yard gain. This is what you want. You want your running back one-on-one with a safety, especially from depth. And they could make it. So my point is, you got prime looks with him in the game. And Texas was not loading the box. You were seeing light boxes all day long. So I don't expect that to continue to happen with Alex in the game if they have success. But that's what you want. You want them to load the box. Now you start to get other things on the table. You can read that extra guy. You can RPO that extra guy. Or guess what? Now you're going to get some opportunities down the football field. That doesn't mean he's going to hit him. I'm not telling you he's going to hit him. But you at least see some open guys. You at least see some opportunities down the football field, which are few and far between right now. Again, this is not me saying that this is all a Davis Warren problem. This is me looking at the personnel that they have on this team and saying the pieces around Davis Warren don't accentuate him in the ways that they need to be the most to achieve the most success. The way that they're assembled right now is really conducive to accentuating. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be successful. It just means let's see what they can achieve. Let's see what they can do. And then, it does kind of require an investment from a play calling perspective, because, when it comes to QB runs, like all of these things are in the playbook, but there's a rhythm to, calling a game. This is just talking to play callers. I've never called a game. This is just talking to guys who have called games. It's like, man, when you get a quarterback run game, there's a rhythm to it that's not like your regular run game. So if it's me, I'm using the cheat sheet. Like when Jim Harbaugh wanted to ramp up his run game, he called up the Ravens and was like, hey, let me clinic your run game. And he was clinicking them so hard that he eventually hired Matt Weiss. He was like, oh, I can bring you over. And that was the reason Matt Weiss was hired as the quarterback coach, was really because he was clinicking with him on the Ravens run game. Well, you can do the same thing from a QB run perspective, right? All the plays are in the playbook. So it's not about the plays. They already practiced the plays. It's the sequencing of the plays. Like, they have QB power. They have power read. They have duo read. They have bluff runs. They have duo kick. They have all of these in the playbook. But how you put them together, how you group them, and as far as your passing game, that's going to be something that they got to get together really, really quickly. And, given their relationships, I don't think it's only a phone call away to kind of help get it in order. At least that's what I would do. I use the cheat sheet personally.
You want to touch on anything defensively? I think obviously the big story was on the offense.
Hey, Mark G, he's asking me questions. What do you mean? Let the other guy talk. He's asking me questions. Shut up. All right, let's go.
Defensively, any concerns, heading into next week? What do you want to see them, with the matchup with USC? Obviously, their passing game is going to be a big threat.
So it really goes hand in hand. I mean, running the football better helps the defense. But as far as what we saw today, Vance Bedford made a great point watching them. He said, first thing he talked about, and I noticed this right away, man, rush lanes, man. Rush lanes. That wound up rearing its ugly head again. It felt like they tightened that up.
It was better.
It got better. But then the other thing is, you look out, and he said if it were me, I would do some things to try to offer some help to Jair. Mainly from the standpoint, I want to give him some confidence. I want to give him some help to maybe put some aggression back in this game. because, you know, maybe after last week against Texas, he's a young player. Maybe he's kind of rattled a little bit. You don't really know because we aren't in practice. They aren't coaching, so we don't know for sure. But he just said, just watching him as an old ball coach, he just feels like that maybe he might have some confidence issues. So he said, man, I would put a guy over the top of him. I might go quarter, half. I might go cloud to his side and put somebody over the top. And that will put some aggression in this game where he's rolled up and he can jam a guy and he can play downhill. And that will maybe, you know, kind of give him a little more juice to kind of get him to playing like like that first game, he came out to shoot. Like, man, this dude he's rolling. And then Texas came and he was kind of tentative out there today. So that was maybe the observation from today's game. Other than that, felt pretty good about what you saw from them. It was Arkansas State, of course. So you don't want to get too carried away, but you felt kind of good about what you saw from some of the backups too.
Some short on this though. I just want, in closing, how about this? Overall thoughts on the win today, and then quick preview on for Michigan preparing for USC next week.
Yeah, like I said, anytime you win, it's a positive. They got a good taste in their mouths as far as the run game is concerned. You know, this is not the ideal way to get to Alex Orji, but you know, sometimes, you know, having a reality smack you in the face, maybe it's necessary. Maybe you got to see it this way. And at least it didn't come in a loss. At least it didn't come in a loss. Would have liked to have seen them give him some more downfield passing reps. That's the one regrettable thing. You know, and the thing that tells me that he's going to be QB1 next week is you saw when he got in the game, they let him wing it down the football field.
Yeah.
That's a sign that, okay, they're trying to get him ready for next week. You would have liked to have seen them in other games give him some throws down the field so he's more ready for USC, but it is what it is. It's where they are. And so I think you're going to have to let him. It can't just be Alex Orji running the football. I know I said it has to be distorted, but not 90-10. He can't run the football 90% of the time, and you think you have a chance to win that game. Like, he's going to have to take some shots in that game for Michigan to have a chance. They got to control the ball. They got to limit possessions. They can't get in an up and down affair with USC. They'll never keep up. Their defense will burn out, and they don't have the offense to get in the track meet. So limit possessions. They got to run the football really well. It was great to see the running backs have some success, kind of get in the groove, get a lather. That's a good sign for next week. But you know, it's a big day for this offense and for Alex and these coaches to show that they can put together a plan for him and for this offense to go out there and be successful.
Well, we got 7 days to get ready for USC. Michigan trying to end that 3-game losing streak to the Trojans. First time they've met since 2007 Rose Bowl.